Welcome to A Balancing Act, a podcast devoted to helping families navigate memory loss. I'm Kelly Burtonshaw. When a loved one is diagnosed with memory loss, everyone's lives change. Family members now have to juggle their loved one's increasing need for care while also trying to manage their own lives, families, and careers. It truly becomes a balancing act. I've worked with those affected by memory loss and with their families for more than 20 years. I created this podcast with the goal of helping you and your family face these challenges head on. Together, we'll find the answers because no one should walk this journey alone. Let's get started. Welcome back, everyone. If you were raised like me, I was taught it was never okay to lie. Dishonesty was way up on my parents' bad behavior list. But then I started working with persons living with dementia, and I quickly learned that sometimes telling the truth was not always as successful as I had hoped it would be. And I was always torn between what is referred to as therapeutic fibbing and reality orientation responses, basically telling a lie or telling the truth. And if you're listening to this podcast, I imagine you might be feeling the same way when your loved one believes something you know isn't true. But then you try to correct them and all heck breaks loose. And it's normal to think if they were just made aware of the situation and their surroundings, they would change their behavior, they would be okay. But honesty sometimes makes the situation only worse. So today, let's ask that question. Is it okay to lie to my loved one? If you have been struggling with which way to go when responding to your loved one, you're not the only one. It is a very complicated issue. Do you stick to the truth or tell those little white lies? Well, for decades, telling the truth, or what's called reality orientation, was the gold standard when communicating with a dementia patient. The thinking was that always telling them the truth was a matter of principle. Medical professionals and caregivers were taught that telling lies to a person with dementia was disrespectful and could negatively affect their mental health. So, of course, this is what the professionals taught caregivers and families to do. But around the 1990s, a new approach was taking hold. Professionals started to believe that telling those little white lies, or therapeutic fibbing, provided a more pragmatic morality, one of empathy and compassion. And their evidence came from the growing knowledge that dementia forces an altered reality. So, depending on the situation, bending the truth could be a way to calm and reassure loved ones in distress and remove them from harming themselves or others. But this type of lying still didn't square with many medical professionals, caregivers, and families. After all, don't our loved ones deserve the truth? First of all, I don't agree with that term, therapeutic fibbing. I prefer to call it leading with your loved one's reality, as it is the only one they are capable of having. For example, if your loved one insists that they don't forget appointments, it may not be a good idea to tell them, "Oh, yes, you do, Mom." You're basically picking a fight, but you also don't have to agree with them. Try saying something like, "Dad, I forget a lot of things, so I always need to double-check times and dates of your appointments." But I also know that at times, telling a person with dementia the truth can be exactly what they're looking for. And that's it. Ask yourself, are they truly aware of the situation and what's going on? What do they need? What will give them peace of mind? Then think about whether what you're going to say will contradict their current reality, the only one they're capable of, or they just need a straight answer, and that's what will make them feel better. Here's the thing. It always goes back to learning about your loved one's type of dementia and where they are in its progression. Now, in the early stages of dementia, when your loved one may still have a sense of where they are and what's going on around them, they are likely able to recognize and accept the truth about a situation. Now, as your loved one is heading toward the middle stages of dementia, they are likely unable to always remember when and where they are and are having difficulty processing what is going on around them. That's when leading with their reality is your best move. If what they are experiencing brings them comfort and isn't harming anyone, why correct it? But if what they are experiencing brings them distress, telling them something that will calm their fear or anger, even if it's untrue, becomes a form of comfort and compassion. It can also focus their behavior in a more positive direction. A classic example is when a loved one asks where their spouse is, even though they are deceased. Saying, "Mom, he's gone," will make them relive the trauma of that loss. And since they will forget that they asked you where their spouse is, they will ask again and have to relive that trauma, sometimes over and over again, when told the truth. Why? It hurts no one to say, "Mom, he went to the bank and then the post office. He also wanted us to make a list of things we need from the grocery store, so we better get started." And then redirect them to that or another activity that will take their mind off their spouse. But listeners, at the same time, I know it can be heart-wrenching for us to do something like that. Now I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in all this because there is something else you can do. There are situations where neither telling the truth or lying will make things better. And I want you to be prepared for moments like these. These types of situations are often more emotionally charged, and the distress is really ramping up. For example, when they are delusional or they're experiencing hallucinations, they want something done now and will not accept any type of explanation. It's what I call the reflect and redirect method. Acknowledge what they're feeling, even if it means just repeating what they said, and then gently change the subject and begin to steer them away from the situation. And I'm including in today's show notes an excellent video demonstrating how this works. What's to guide us then? A thorough understanding of exactly what is happening to your loved one. And I'm including in today's show notes lists of what to look for across the stages of dementia to reference when the truth can be effective and maybe when it can't. Because it's clear there is no right or wrong answer. Decisions need to be made on a case-by-case basis. I often tell families, instead of focusing so much on here and now, accept your loved ones here and now. Lead with their reality. And that reality will change over time. So the more you know about their dementia and how it's likely to progress, then the answers will become clearer. There is a lot to think through with this episode. You got to take one day, one situation, and one response at a time. And please do yourself the best of all favors possible. Find a support group. Meeting with others who are in a similar situation can be so powerful. You can listen to their ideas, their struggles, learn from them. Sharing ideas and telling stories is empowering. And when you participate by joining a caring community, you realize you're not alone. Finally, here's a truth to provide you empathy and compassion. No one is perfect at this. No one. You're doing the best you can. You're doing it from a place of love. And that's enough. I'm Kelly Burtonshaw, and it was my pleasure spending time with you today. Keep in touch.
Hi, I'm Peggy Wright, editor and producer of this podcast. If you like this episode, let us know by following A Balancing Act wherever you get your podcasts. Please take a moment to rate and review. Check us out on our Facebook page and YouTube channel as well. Links are in the show notes. Be sure to leave any comments or questions for Kelly, as this will help us continue to provide relevant, trusted content you can use right now to help you navigate a loved one's memory loss. We're here to help, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for listening today.